Hi, everybody. Here we're going to talk about how to make your own guess and check or working backwards problems so that you can share it with one of your classmates who will then have to try to solve it. So, um, the idea of these kinds of problems is that you're supposed to be thinking of a number that your classmate is going to guess. So it'd be something like, I'm thinking of a number. If you double my number and then add this much, blah, 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 blah. Right? Or you might have the idea that it's going to be something like, I'm thinking of a number, um, a square number between 100 and 200. And that's a little bit different, but it's still the same kind of problem. So let's talk about how you make each one of those. So let's say you want to do, if you double my number and blah, 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 blah. Or if you want to do the square number. But let's start with the just plain old thing. Um, Here, as with the one on the bottom, you better have your number thought of first. So just make up a number, 51. Now, if you want to make up a number that has a story to it, that's even more fun. So, that could be your mom's age, or your the number of pets you have, or something. I hope you don't have 51 pets. But, you can make up a story that goes with it. So then you're going to do stuff to this number. You're going to double it and figure out what that is. But it doesn't have to be double. Remember, double is times two. You could say if you triple my number, then it would be times three. You could say if you cut my number in half, and then it would be divided by two, right? Whatever you want to do. Or if you add 100 to my number, and then cut my number in half. Let's add 101 to the number and then cut it in half. So that would be plus 101, which is 152. Whoops. And then after you get 152, you're going to cut that in half. And 152 cut in half is, oh, I have no idea. But you should keep going after that, right? Get that answer, then do something else to it, and then one last step. Okay? And then what you say when you finally get your last step in and you finally get this answer, then you want to put that in your story. And then finally, I get 57. So the number 67. So the number you give them is the one you end up with, right? You don't tell them the number you started with. That's what they're supposed to come up with by working their way backwards and doing the opposite. If you're doing something like this one, a number between this and this, they're probably going to have to use guess and check to figure that out instead of purely working backwards. But that's really important too. It's really important for people to learn how to do guess and check well, because students are really bad at it. Kids are really bad at it. And they need to learn. A lot of times when you first teach a student how to guess and then check, they'll just throw out completely ridiculous numbers like 37. And you go, that seems a little large. And they go, two. They're just guessing. So you want to try to get them to guess within constraints. So here, if I were doing this one, I should already have a number in my mind, right? A square number between 100 and 200. I should have in my mind secretly that, what are some square numbers? Let's see. 121, that's 11 squared. 144, that's 12 squared. So let's say it's 100. Say it's, 144. Okay? So we have this idea in mind of what the number is. And then we do stuff to that number, but we don't tell them, say it's 144 in there. That's our secret thing that we know and that we don't tell them. Delete, delete, delete. There. So you're going to start with that 144 and you're going to do stuff to it. Add 100. Thinking of it, when I add 100 to my number, and then double it, do a few things, and then you give them the final number you get, whatever that is. I get. And then you say, what's my number? And that's it. That's how you make one. It's not too hard. So see if you can make a story to it to make it more fun and more interesting and have fun with it.